Yes guys, welcome back to another FC24 tutorial, and in today's video we have top 10 defense tips that will guide and help to never concede easy goals. We all know that controlled sprint and pace is something overpowered on this game. We have to use basic stuffs more to keep everything safe, so make sure to watch up to the end because we have the tip that you can use to defend pace and controlled sprint. So let's jump in. If you want to defend well on FC24, you have to use the Jockey system, and you have to use it early and more often, then manually move your defender into a position to win the ball for you. L2 or LT on your controller is the normal or slow jockey button. You can use this to hold your ground in front of the opponent's player. Sometimes you don't need to move fast, you need those small movements but still reacting to the opponent's actions. The slow jockey can also help to stabilize your defender, like when you're sprinting at high pace, you can use it to slow down without your defender losing balance. Then we have the fast jockey, where you hold both the L2 and R2, or LT and RT. Your defender moves a little bit faster than the normal jockey and very reactive. We can use this to approach the opponent's player and challenge for the ball, because here you can react if the opponent tries to change directions. We can also use the fast jockey to cut the opponent's passing lanes. Just position your defender in between the opponent's two players, and if he passes then you will win that ball. Then there's sprinting. We use this to chase down the opponent's running player. If the opponent tries to run and leave your defender behind, but the jockey can't match that pace, then you have to sprint and chase him down. Sometimes when you jockey near the opponent's player, the game can automatically tackle the ball for you, but in FC24 this is no longer effective as it was. So you have to manually press the tackle button, circle or B on your controller to challenge and dispossess the opponent. For example, if the opponent is dribbling recklessly near your defender, leaving the ball in between your defender and his player, then you have to press the button and take that ball, or if he makes a heavy touch, like sprinting near your defender, here you can take that ball by pressing the tackle button. FC24, if the opponent gets in behind your defense, then it's hard to stop him, and this is possible only if you keep on dragging players out of their positions, leaving gaps, and creating through pass opportunities. When defending, you need to improve your one-on-one defending skills. Try to keep 2 to 3 yards away from the opponent's player. Here it's hard for the opponent to beat your defender with easy tricks like ball roll. Another thing about one-on-one, you need to be in a better position to stop your opponent from moving forward, and that is positioning your defender in front of that player. It's easy to mirror his movements with some little pressure, and even if you don't do much stuffs, the opponent is forced to move away to protect the ball. But if he's stubborn and tries to force forward, then he will clash into your defender and definitely you will win the ball. Even if you have to keep everything basic, but you defend like an amateur, you need to develop the habit of reading the opponent's moves, like his next pass, then use your defender in a good position to intercept that pass. Not only passes, but also the opponent's change of directions while he's dribbling. Don't wait to react every time, you need to read, so take some risk and read that move, position your defender at the exit point and take the ball. But importantly, don't over-anticipate, especially inside or around your box, because any misreading of the opponent's move you will concede. So keep it simple and be patient around the box, just mirror the opponent's movements and jockey to react. High up the pitch you can anticipate and be aggressive. You're free to anticipate the way you like, even if you fail it has less harm, but around the box you need to be more disciplined. In FC24, don't allow your opponent to get in behind, and this happens if you open spaces by dragging your defenders out of positions, especially center backs and fullbacks. That back four has to be solid and coordinated. So in some situations, if you realize you have moved your defender too far away from his position, then before selecting another defender, try to immediately position back that defender. First of all, pace is overpowered, and the biggest mistake when the opponent is attacking you with speed and his momentum is to rush out, and when that defender fails to win the ball back, he leaves a big space in behind. This ruins your team shape and it's difficult to defend this. So when dealing with pace or controlled sprint, importantly try and maintain that defender's position. That situation when the opponent is running at you, don't try and move out aggressively and charge at him, keep it simple and basic. Wait in your position for the opponent to bring the ball. Since he's sprinting, he has less control of the ball. Don't move back unless you're tracking the opponent's running player. Hold your ground and wait for the opponent to bring the ball and you take it. This works best when the opponent is attacking you with speed. Just keep your defender in a position to stop the opponent's running player. Don't just leave the controller and wait. No, jockey is the key in small movements, and also don't forget to tackle. And if it happens and the opponent manages to beat your defender due to some reasons, don't panic. Use another defender and position him in the opponent's path, but still maintain a passive approach if the opponent is sprinting. By the way, it's hard to keep your team shape solid for 90 minutes of the match. In some situations, if it happens and your player is dragged out, you can use a wrong player but in a right position of the situation to defend that attack. To defend well and keep your team shape solid, you need to learn and use the right stick switch. First of all, we have two types of player switching. One is the quick switch. This you press the L1 or LB on your controller, then the game selects the defender in a good position to defend that attack, and mostly it selects one of the defenders near the ball. Right stick switch, your defender with the cursor is the center of the switch, then you flick the right analog to the direction of the next defender you want to control, but it needs some practice to master it very well. You can use the right stick switch to select distant defenders from the ball. Here you can use that defender to cut passing lanes and outsmart your opponent in that manner. You can also use it to position your defenders and maintain a stable defense structure, just by dragging back them into their positions to defend the current situation, or even track the opponent's running player and stop that through pass opportunity. Second man press give you the option to deal with two tasks at once. If you don't know what the second man press is, that green icon on top of that defender you're not controlling, and when you press and hold R1 or RB on your controller, that defender will move towards the opponent's ball carrier and apply pressure. We can use this to apply pressure on the opponent's ball carrier from different directions. That very moment, you control one defender and the game will control another defender and double press the opponent. You can also use it to cut the passing lanes while applying pressure. You manually anticipate and cut or track the opponent's ball receiver while holding the R1, then that AI player will apply pressure on the ball carrier. But if you misuse this trick, then it will lead you into trouble. You have to be aware of the selected defender to avoid that player from being dragged out of his position. You can implement all the tips we have looked at, but when you lose the ball earlier in your build-up, especially around the box, then you will concede many goals. Try to avoid losing the ball early because this ruins your team shape and it results into a quick counter-attack. And another thing, you will not be in a mental state to defend that attack after losing the ball. For example, you will be frustrated and blame the game or your players. And importantly, when you win the ball back, try to pass it to the wide area because the opponent's team automatically apply pressure through the middle. In FC24 you don't need to be too slow because the game is fast. You need to react quickly in every situation, and most especially when switching your defenders. Try to be one step ahead of the opponent, then here you can defend very well. The next thing, losing the ball in your half is sometimes unavoidable, but reacting quick enough and cut passing lanes, or even close those open spaces, will at least reduce the chance of you conceding. My personal tip is to get the right game tactics. You can apply all the tips, but when you have bad tactics which doesn't suit the meta or your style, then it will be difficult for you to defend in one way or the other. So always have a good formation with tactics and instructions, and also don't forget the controller settings. It can be underrated, but it plays a big part of the way you defend. Good enough, we have the best basic formation and instructions video. Check the link in the description. FC24 defending is hard due to many overpowered attacking mechanics, and aggressive defending is so risky this time. You need to keep everything basic and simple, but don't over-depend on defense. You need to also improve your attacking game. So like the video and subscribe because soon we gonna have a meta attacking video.